The soft power advantage women were never told. She sat at her laptop, scrolling through another job listing that demanded 5 years of experience for an entry-level role. The house was finally quiet. Her coffee had gone cold again. And somewhere beneath the fatigue, a question stirred that she'd been avoiding for months. What if I stopped trying to fit their system? What if the power was never where they said it was? She wasn't chasing corner offices or six-figure salaries, not yet, at least. She was chasing something quieter. Freedom that fit between morning drop-offs and evening routines. Work that didn't require her to become someone else to succeed. But every business podcast she listened to felt the same. Aggressive, loud, built for a game she never wanted to play. Part of her wondered if that meant she wasn't cut out for this. If ambition only counted when it looked a certain way. Then one evening, while helping her daughter with a school project, something clicked. Her daughter was struggling to explain a concept to her classmates, so she drew it. She made it visual. She made it feel less intimidating, and suddenly, everyone understood. That's when it hit her. The skills she'd been using her whole life, the ones that felt invisible, ordinary, even apologetic, weren't weaknesses. They were exactly what the market was starving for. The business world had been designed around a specific kind of power. The kind that interrupts, dominates, and demands attention. But there's another kind of power. One that listens first. That builds trust before it asks for anything. That sees connection not as a distraction from profit, but as the foundation of it. Women have been practicing this power their entire lives, and most of them don't even realize it's their competitive edge. According to research from Harvard Business Review, businesses led by women show higher levels of customer retention, employee satisfaction, and long-term profitability. Not because they work harder, but because they work differently. They lead with empathy. They design with care. They communicate with clarity. These aren't soft skills. They're survival skills. And in a world drowning in noise, they're becoming the most valuable currency there is. She started to see it everywhere. The influencer who didn't yell about her product, but shared why it mattered to her life. The coach who didn't promise transformation in 30 days, but showed up consistently for a year. The designer who didn't compete on price, but on the feeling her work created. They weren't trying to be the loudest in the room. They were building rooms people actually wanted to stay in. So she made a list. Not of business ideas she thought she should pursue, but of things she was already doing that people kept asking her about. The friend who always wanted her advice on organizing spaces, the neighbor who asked her to help write emails that actually got responses, the cousin who said she had a gift for explaining complicated things in ways that made sense. She'd been dismissing these as small favors. Now she saw them as signals. What would you have done in her place? Would you have trusted that the ordinary things you do every day could be worth something to someone else? She chose one, just one. A service helping busy parents create systems that actually worked for their homes. Not the Instagram perfect kind, the sustainable kind. Her first client came from a casual conversation at the park. No website, no business plan, just a real problem she knew how to solve, and a person willing to pay for the solution. She charged less than she should have, but she learned more than any course could have taught her. Her second client came from a referral, then a third, then someone asked if she had a website. She didn't, so she made one. Nothing fancy, just clear. Just honest, just her. Then came the doubt. The kind that whispers louder than failure. Maybe this was a fluke. Maybe she got lucky. Maybe people were just being nice. Maybe real business required more than this. More noise, more hustle, more of the things that made her stomach tighten every time she tried to force herself into that mold. She almost stopped. Almost convinced herself that small wasn't the same as real. But one message changed everything. A client she'd worked with months earlier reached out. Not for another project. Just to say thank you. To tell her that the system they built together was still working. That mornings felt lighter. That chaos had turned into calm. That's when she realized something. Impact doesn't always sound like applause. Sometimes it sounds like relief. The business world loves to measure success in scale. In followers, in revenue milestones, in how fast you can grow. But scale isn't the only metric that matters. And for many women, it's not even the goal. What they want is sustainability, flexibility, work that doesn't drain them. Income that doesn't require them to sacrifice the life they're building it for. Studies show that women-owned small businesses have a failure rate nearly 30% lower than the national average. Not because they're playing it safe, but because they're playing it smart. They start lean. They test carefully. They build relationships before they build infrastructure. They don't chase growth for growth's sake. They chase alignment. She began to notice a pattern in the women she admired. The ones who seemed to have figured something out. None of them had explosive viral moments. None of them had massive teams or complicated funnels. What they had was consistency, clarity, a reputation for being exactly who they said they were. They showed up when it mattered. They delivered what they promised. They treated their clients like collaborators, not transactions. And slowly, almost invisibly, their businesses became unshakable. She started seeing her own work differently. Not as a hustle. As a practice. Not as a race. As a rhythm. Some months brought more clients. Some brought more learning. She stopped judging herself by other people's timelines and started measuring progress by her own. Her workspace was still her kitchen counter. Her office hours were still shaped around school schedules, but it no longer felt like chaos. It felt like possibility. Sometimes growth doesn't look like progress. It looks like staying consistent, staying curious, staying true to the version of success that actually serves your life. She started teaching what she was learning, not in a polished course, just in conversations, in emails to her small list, in responses to questions people kept asking. And something surprising happened. The more honest she was about the messy parts, the more people trusted her. Vulnerability wasn't a liability. It was proof she was real. This is the advantage women have been conditioned to ignore. The ability to build businesses that feel human, that prioritize connection over conversion, that understand that people don't just want solutions, they want to feel understood while receiving them. In a marketplace flooded with automation and algorithms, the businesses that win are the ones that still feel like a conversation. Not a pitch, not a funnel, a conversation. Women are naturals at this. They've been doing it their whole lives, at playdates, in group chats, in the invisible labor of maintaining relationships that hold communities together. The tragedy is how many of them have been taught to see this as irrelevant to business, as something to apologize for, or overcome, or hide. But the market is shifting. Consumers are exhausted by brands that perform empathy without practicing it. They can smell the difference between a script and a story, between a sales page and a real person who cares. What helped her most wasn't just finding the right tools or strategies, though those mattered. It was realizing that she didn't need permission to start small. She didn't need a perfect plan. She didn't need to look like the entrepreneurs on magazine covers. She tested a few resources along the way. Some helped her organize her ideas. Others helped her learn the skills she didn't have yet. Honestly, having the right support made the path a little lighter. This isn't a promotion, just something that worked. If you're looking for tools that help you build on your own terms, I'll leave some recommendations below. But the real shift wasn't external. It was internal. It was the moment she stopped apologizing for wanting both, for wanting impact and flexibility, for wanting to contribute without sacrificing presence, for wanting to build something meaningful that didn't require her to abandon everything else that mattered. She realized that wasn't compromise. That was design. According to recent data, small home-based businesses led by women are growing 40% faster than other segments. Not because of some secret strategy, but because clarity often beats capital. Because knowing what you're building for is more powerful than knowing every tactic to scale it. These businesses succeed because they start with values, not vanity metrics. Because they're built to last, not to exit. Her business didn't look like a success story in the traditional sense. No viral launch, no six-figure months, no team of 20, but she had clients she loved working with. She had income that mattered. She had mornings where she could drop her kids at school and afternoons where she could pick them up. She had something she'd built with her own hands, on her own terms, and it was enough. More than enough. When she poured her coffee the next morning, it was still hot. Because this time, she wasn't rushing. She was building. Not louder, not faster, just steadier. Just hers. The soft power advantage isn't about being gentle in a way that makes you forgettable. It's about being intentional in a way that makes you irreplaceable. It's about understanding that in a world that rewards volume, clarity is the rarest gift you can offer. That in a market obsessed with speed, sustainability is the ultimate rebellion. That in a culture that mistakes loudness for confidence, quiet certainty is the most magnetic force there is. Women don't need to become more like the entrepreneurs they see celebrated. The world needs more entrepreneurs who lead the way. Women naturally do. With empathy, with nuance, with the understanding that business isn't separate from life, it's woven into it. That's not a limitation, that's the innovation. So if you've been sitting on an idea, waiting for permission, or wondering if your way of working could ever be enough, this is your sign. The market doesn't need another version of what already exists. It needs what only you can build. Start small, start messy, start now. Because the world is waiting for businesses that feel like you. Not in spite of your softness. Because of it. Disclaimer: this content is for educational purposes only and does not replace consultation or assistance from a professional. Always consult a qualified professional for any questions related to finance, business, or investments. Tell us what part of this story resonated with you most and where you're watching from. Your journey might just inspire the next one. Tell us which country or city you're watching from. See you in the next video.